In this video, I am going to tell you what I think about when I think of this palette and the 4 things that are the same and that are different from the original Pro palette. Keep watching. Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. This video today is going to be on the Tarte Tarteist Pro Remix palette. I'm going to be comparing it to the original OG Tarteist palette, and I'm going to be telling you 4 things that are similar to this palette, to the OG palette, and 4 things that are different from the OG palette. The first thing I'm going to kind of do is kind of go over like the logistics of this palette. It is $49. It comes with 20 shades, 6 unique finishes, the website says. So it has matte, luster, metallic, duochrome, shimmer, and floating glitter. I am going to show you what the palette looks like on the inside, and I did use this palette today in conjunction with the original Pro palette to create the look that I have on. Most of the shadows did come from the new Remix palette. For a base to set my primer, I did use the color from the original palette here, Bold, and I did use a little bit of Edgy to go with the Remix palette. So I'm going to jump right in and tell you some of the things that are the same with the original Pro palette. And it is sort of kind of the packaging. They both have sort of that black and gold packaging. The amount of product also that you get inside of each packet is the exact same. You get either 20 grams or 0.7 ounces of product in each palette. Also, the overall layout of the palettes is the same, and I will hold them up for you. So you can see in each of them you have 16 square pans and you have 4 round pans. Also, something that is the same is something that you can't see, but for those of you all who are looking into this, all the palettes are free of all of the bad things, and I took notes, so let me tell you what those things are. They are free of parabens, mineral oil, phthalates, triclosan, I don't know how to say that, sodium lauryl sulfate, and they are gluten free. So in that regard, these palettes are the same. That pretty much is where the similarities end for this palette. So the first thing that you will immediately notice off the bat that is different is that the Pro Remix palette is a little more colorful. It actually has a sticker on the front of it that is, I forgot what you call these stickers, but they remind me of my childhood, and they kind of switch back and forth, and it has all these different paint splatters on it. What this looks like to me is that they took this original packaging and they just laid this sticker on the front of it, which I think is slightly tacky, but it is what it is. Also, on the inside of it, they have that same paint splatter effect, and this is supposed to be like reminiscent of, like they said, all different art forms or whatever. But you can notice that same paint splatter effect in the Remix palette, and it is a gold insert on the original palette. This one, now that I look at it a little bit further, at first I thought maybe they took like a different plastic and put it. This also looks like they took a big sticker and covered up the original gold insert inside of the palette. The other obvious difference difference in the two is the layout of the colors. With the original Pro palette, I don't know if, I'm sure that this was mentioned before, but the way that they set it up before is sort of like in looks. So if you go across the rows this way, you have 4 obvious different looks. Of course, you can mix and match it as you would like, but you do have 4 different ready-made, I don't really have to think about it, looks, which I think helps a person who is new to makeup, a person who is new to Tarte. They don't have to worry about which colors are going to go together. So I think that actually that is a plus for the Pro palette, because when you look at the Pro Remix, there is just like a scattering of colors all over the place, no rhyme or reason. There are only 3 mattes that I can see in this palette. This one here called Wall Art, which is a sort of taupey color. I did use that in my crease today as a transition. If you are a little darker than me, this is not going to work as a transition color for you. They have your sort of matte highlight color here, which I like to use for the brow bone, and they have a matte black. The matte black is called Ink, and it is definitely inky, and the matte sort of off-white color is called Mixed Media. Everything else is shimmery or glittery or metallic or whatever, but it is a mishmash of colors here, which if you are new to makeup, once again, it's going to be a bit intimidating. I cannot look at this palette and immediately say, yes, that is what I'm going to put on my eyes today. And I also think that this palette could have possibly been made to go in conjunction with this palette, because then you have all your crease colors, your transition colors, your highlight colors are here, then your pops of color are in this palette here. Also, another difference, this original palette has 16 matte colors and then 4 what they call iridescent shades. So the 4 round ones are the iridescent shades, and then the square ones are all matte. This one has, like, how many did they say? Like 6 different finishes to it. Yeah, this one has 6 different finishes to it. The word that I am looking for here is the pigmentation. The pigmentation varies in this palette. Some of the more glittery ones that I thought were going to swatch a little better did not swatch that well. Maybe it's because it's a glitter and I'm expecting it to be like metallic or something like that. So the glitters definitely swatch as glitters. All of the shades that I used today I thought were excellent. I used Flow, which is here, and I used DIY, like all over the lid. I also used, which else did I use? I used, of course, I told you Wall Art here. I used Mixed Media on the brow bone. And I think that might be the 4 colors I used in conjunction with the couple of colors that I used out of the Pro palette. Also, the couple of colors, there are a couple of colors in this new palette that I thought that they could have done without, or they could have replaced with something different. The color Wall Art, which is here, which I used today in my crease, looks to me quite a bit like the shade Indie, which is down here. Of course, Wall Art is a little bit deeper, but to me they are in the same family. They could have made another choice for this palette and made it like a little bit of a warmer crease color. Also, these shades Spin, and Spin is here, this first one. I think Spin from this palette and Ethereal from, and they are both right beside each other in the so the round one at the top on the Pro palette is Ethereal, and the square one at the top on the Pro Remix palette is Spin. Those both are a lot alike. Spin a little bit darker, more of a coppery color, but still to me in the same family. And they could have sort of inserted something a little different. So overall, I am going to say, if you are new to makeup, while this palette right here is indeed a pretty palette, the pigmentation is pretty decent and I do like it. I would opt to first go with the original Pro palette. It has every sort of transition, highlight, eyeliner, sort of little bit of pop of color in this palette. And this palette can be used every single day if you want to. And then if you want to venture out and use the Pro Remix, you can purchase it. They are both $49 a piece. Not a little bit of money at all. It's a little expensive, especially if you are new to makeup. So I think the better investment would be in the original Pro palette, and then venture out once you get used to it to this palette here. Of course, if you are a collector like I am, but I got this one for Christmas from my husband. But if you are a collector and you already have the Pro palette, I say go for it and pick this one up. It is definitely a nice palette, just a little bit lacking in some areas. And that is it, you all. That is my 4 things that are similar and 4 things that are different sort of review of the Tarteist Pro Remix palette in comparison to the original Pro palette. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. If you are already subscribed to my channel, please make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when I have a new video coming out. Have a great day, you all, and may your day be as flawless as your makeup. Bye.